with Patrick Jones.
All of a sudden. Okay, I'd just like to share a few poems in response to the exhibition and all the subjects that really sort of affect me learning about Christine Keeler's life. And this poem, I suppose, came out of research and thinking of the resonance with then and now. It's called Riva, Steenkamp and Me. It starts off with a quote, Christine Keeler. Discretion is the polite word for hypocrisy. They made us out to be the huntress, the whore, made us wear their disguise, the invisible one, the photographed one. My body I began not to recognize, made me hate myself to the deepest core, despise and be despised. That's how they begin, they all. The male gaze corrupted my womanhood, and their need to feminize. So began their lies. And you, they couldn't even remember your name. Girlfriend of, model, reality TV star, partner of athlete. Never Riva. Go on, say it. You who want our scalps. Riva. Riva Steenkamp. Beautiful, intelligent woman. 29 years old when he shot you that screaming night. He, yeah, that's right. He, him, it. Partner of Riva Steenkamp. Boyfriend of Riva Steenkamp, murderer of Riva Steenkamp. Can't remember his name now. But we will remember yours, Riva, as everyone remembers Profumo, doting hubby, charity worker, CBE, citizen of the British Empire, and I, a slutty Anglo Marilyn Monroe, call girl, escort, self-serving liar. Smoke and mirrors and cocks and cum, where they put you on your knees, then sweep it away like it never happened after they've had their fun. I was incarcerated by their greed, found guilty by their insecurity. They wanted me in bridal gowns and red leather gags. Instead of tenderness, they choked me with privileged, plump hands. It took me 30 years to tell my story, to walk away from that chair. I am more than the woman who Profumo had an affair with. It took you, Riva, 30 seconds to lose your name. And you are more than a murder victim that some wanted to blame. Christine and Riva, and the thousands of other women raised on a pedestal, then crucified by their controlling games. Weinstein, Trump, Kavanaugh, Johnson, Windsor, Clifford, Pistorius, Epstein. To preserve their power, they destroy another's. Lined up like on an assembly line, scapegoats for their failings, souls as men's playthings. But we shall not die if you say our names, Riva Steenkamp and Christine Keeler. Human beings, not meat for their use. Riva Steenkamp and Christine Keeler, speak our names, and then it'll be us who shall accuse. You. This poem is about my penis. It is a very short one. I didn't know if I would actually get a laugh. I didn't know. Just never knows. Thank you. Okay. It is very short. The penis prayer. I shall not go where I have not been invited. Full stop. I should write shorter poems, I think. This last poem of mine, and then I'm going to read one by Sarah Caulfield. I watched an interview when I was doing the research for this, which is on YouTube, from 1980 when Christine Keeler was interviewed. And I found myself just writing the phrases down that the interviewer, who was male, was asking. And then I just created this poem out of it because I was just so amazed at the sort of the ethos of the interview. And there's only a couple of phrases that that Christine Keeler says in the poem. I think you'll be able to recognise those. Majority of them are what the interviewer said. So, found poem from 1980. Keep her end up, £400 a month. What can you bring to men-only readers? How can you help them? Do you regard yourself as particularly sexually experienced? The name Christine Keeler, a bygone world, led to death of one, disgrace of another, departure of another. Nearly brought the government down. Security threat led him to admit the truth. Were you in a position to spy? Your face turned 100 heads in political, farcical, sexual comedy of manners? What have you learnt from the failure of your 2 marriages, both of which didn't last long? Do you feel that the breakup was your fault? None of them either lasted very long. Both ended very quickly. Do you expect ever to meet the right one? How do the children live with your past? This is the first television interview I have ever given. Newspapers would never speak to me. If you wanted to forget the Christine Keeler and what happened in 1963, you wouldn't be selling that name now, would you? Well, I said, publish and be damned. Is that what your motto would be? Yes, yes, yes. So insulting. And this next poem is written by Sarah Caulfield, who wrote it in response to the exhibition. So I'll try and do it justice. It's called Christine Keeler versus the Crown. Put the record on, but make it backwards. The Prime Minister's crisis walks out of the Crown Court and down the steps, chin up, face on. A regular Marie Antoinette. That bloody whore, that slinky party girl. Let's reverse it. It's 1963 and Stephen sits in his apartment, coughing barbiturates back up. The judge is sitting and swallowing the guilty verdict down. It's 1963 and when it's over, Christine gets up, buttons up and retreats out of Gordon's apartment, unsuspecting. Keep going. The chair's there, but then she's gone. Blink and you'll miss her in the spaces between the camera flash. Now it's 1961, so she climbs back down into Lord Astor's swimming pool, chlorine-eyed, the water's closing over her head. There she goes, further. It's 1961, and the name Eugenie is new in Christine's mouth. Call her a call girl, and what could she know anyway? Further, her first 8 per week, warm in her hand, the bite of the showgirl, tiara against her scalp, rubbing her feet in a back room somewhere. More champagne, anyone? Further, her baby breathes again for 6 more days. Bring the puppies back up from the bathtub. Let's leave the pen alone for writing. Let's take the word perjury out of people's mouths. It's like they say, it's like they always say to showgirls, to babysitters, 10 a penny girls drawn into London from somewhere. Who knows? Who cares? What's a girl got to be running from? What's 9 months to a woman? After all, nothing has been proved. Thank you very much for
Thank you, Patrick. Okay, next up is the wonderful Jo Mazelis.
The first poem I'm going to read is actually by Charlotte Innes, who lives in LA, so she couldn't be here for obvious reasons. Like Me, for Christine Keeler, 1942 to 2017. Like me, you were a tomboy, climbing trees, riding your rusty bike by the river, knees muddy, playing with boys. One mum or dad captured in black and white a look you had, aside from plaits and overbite, the ease of a child at home in herself, smiling to please no one. But your stepdad stifled days like these, with his look, his hands, his friends, and you were glad, like me, to flee to London, where I thought books were keys to freedom, but like you at times would seize the chance to make some foolish man mad for me. Adventuresome we were, not bad. Half wanting love, harbouring half-felt pleas, like me. The rest are my crimes. Vixen scream, cries at night, the barely punctured silence between each one under an August moon in the anonymous city turn hot blood cold. It sounds like murder, Christine says. Sounds like fun, her lover replies. This is the difference, she thinks, as the press descend and she hides behind dark glasses. Sorry, can I just get my water? Sorry. Historiography. If Christine Keeler were discovered in Pompeii, would they say that because her ghost shape was found outside the Lupanar, she was a prostitute? This, they say, is a woman of the brothel, because of how she fell, sumptuous, open, extravagant. Yet the same fallen pose could be read otherwise. She might have been a visitor to the house of pleasure, only there to deliver fishes, olives, peaches, bread, the wide basket of her thighs, a matter for speculation only. The Great Bear. Women attracted to rich and powerful men may sense in their largesse with... Oh my God. Is that me? Sorry, I'll start that again. Okay. The Great Bear. Women attracted to rich and powerful men may sense in their largesse with cash, in the cut of their Savile Row suits, in their hand-stitched leather shoes, their expensive cologne and gruff, unbending voices, a safe and cosy space at the back of the bone-riddled lair. The Great Bear's growls and bellows echo over the still valley, making even the wolves cower. While she, precious child, hunkers in a dim corner of his cave, far from the pooled blood of the vanquished, the eaten, far from cold, far from hunger, protected and warm in the burrows and abundance of his hot fur and lice-crawling skin. Clifton. Yes, I've been, though the circumstances were very different. The National Trust runs it now, but still a day of cooling shadows in late May or early October feels ominous. It is not the sort of afternoon in which to seek solace in the cool blue water of the walled swimming pool, nor can visitors of any importance, leaders of state, politicians, minor royalty be spied. We are the rabble, daughter, mother-in-law, baby. There are the usual stone urns, the usual gravel underfoot, a paved terrace. But ley lines must crisscross here, snakes dispelling and recoiling from history, never still, never silent, marking time as we levitate, our toes not quite scraping the earth, the paving stones as in a painting by Dorothea Tannin, where shark fins break the surface of the faultless croquet lawn. This one is also a found poem, and all the phrases in it are taken directly from Christine Keeler's autobiography. Dear Christine, the truth is selective. We were very poor. I fell into the river. Anne jumped in and saved me. The valley flooded. Water filled the house. He got sick with a fever. Dad converted 2 railway carriages. He used to cut the heads off birds. He drowned our dog's puppies. You hear everything. My dad tried to kiss me. Dutch courage to appear naked. Dutch courage to appear half naked. I started to cry, started to get dressed, onto the dirty street wearing only a string of pearls. The little black book was never found. So we drove on to a fishing village called Altea. Barbara Castle called me a tart, which only faded because of the Atlantic. He loved it, and he paid us. An erect penis has no conscience, never got beyond the hall of mirrors, lied and lied again. I slept with my knitted lamb. He liked to dress in black. The last one, I've also written about the chair, which I think other people have written about. A chair. This chair is voluptuous. It has a waist, a widening bosom, reminding me of a heart, a guitar, a strawberry. If music be the food of love, it encapsulates all of these and also holds the human body, cradles it like a nest or an oyster shell. I am an oyster in this chair. My edges are cracked open, and here I sit, ready for consumption.